they'll be too embarrassed of what people may say, or they family got so much control over them.
Mm,
And I feel like it got to a point where my family realized they don't have control over me no more because they did have a lot of control over me. I was the baby of the family. Like they feel like they could still treat me as that baby. Everybody was much older than me, but
right,
I started
right,
to have my own voice and started to. It's everything. I once I got away from certain environments, I started to be able to know who I am, know who God is, and that He reside in me.
right,
Not in the sky, not in the church.
right. I mean, I agree. So, what would be your next journey now that uh, you're very healthy, you're a vegan, you're finding yourself within God, or whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it. What be like? I know you have this women empowerment group, or it might be. So, would you consider it like a feminist group, or is it just like a women empowerment? Because when a lot of men think about women empowerment, they think about feminism at the same time.
Um, I haven't really thought about feminism. I gotta know your full detail of feminism.
How it originally started, it was like the equal rights because women couldn't vote. Women were getting going through domestic violence and the R word and all that. Like
Yes.
they've been going through a bunch of crazy stuff and there was no freedom for women. So white women pretty much brought out like, yo, we want equal rights, we want to vote, we wanna be free and do certain stuff like that basically.
I
But
feel like some of the women in the group do want to be based on a little feminism because
yeah, yeah,
they
but
touched on the topic, like even in the Bible, us women not really in there. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
feel you. I feel you. I feel you, but no, but today's feminism is like women ain't like women are overpowering men. We're independent. We don't need no man and all this other type of stuff. So like now it's gonna come to a point where like the actual purpose of feminism got wiped away because now like a lot of women think that they're better than men.
yes, that's true.
So yeah, so I mean when we talk about women empowerment, I start thinking like, yo, these are some independent women that don't need men.
You said some independent women that's what.
That don't need men.
Now, me personally, I'm not thinking that way. I can't speak for every woman though, because everybody got a little fire in them. That the reason why they want to start this women empowerment is everybody got their own, reasons and want to have a voice. Um, my reason is not because I don't think we don't need a man. We definitely need a man. There could be a lot of women problem. Some of us was raised to have to be strong or to do stuff on our own. Is that my son? I'm trying to see. But a lot of us was like we like me, I was in a single parent household or whatever. And so I always seen my mama had to really struggle with 4 kids. We all had different fathers. My father was the only one that I didn't really knew him. He was around, but financial wise, but not physical. Um, so it's like women, that's all I knew. I had to get it. I always had to go be a go getter. But I
Mhm.
never felt like I didn't need a man. I always felt like I needed a man. I ain't gonna say just need, but when you have kids, it's different. A woman, some things a woman can't teach us, teach kids, just like a man can't teach kids certain things that a woman can teach. So,
I agree. I agree. See, me
but
personally, I don't. So,
no, I was just about to say now some women may not need a man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, y'all need, y'all need,
Some of them may not
y'all
if
need,
they feel like they can
y'all need men.
hmm,
I need men. We need each other. Just like I need like a
yes.
female and all that. I could be as manly as possible, but I am unorganized. Like I don't know how
Yes.
to. I don't have that empathy like that I need to balance my testosterone now.
Yes.
But like a lot of
Yeah.
times, women do say like they don't need a man, but yet later on they probably need their car fixed. Later on, they
Yes.
probably look for certain stuff to fix their plumbing
True.
and all that. So like
True.
basically like y'all don't need men, but when certain stuff happens, was the first thing y'all called. I mean,
True. And that's why I got tired of doing, to be honest. I'm not gonna say I'm a saint. You know what I'm saying? I done been through a lot of things, and I've had my share of relationships or whatever. Been married before. All type of things, and things didn't work out. Like I said, now I do have a fiance, and that's one thing. I think that's why I don't plan on going nowhere, because I don't have to like struggle. I,
mm,
I'm not. I could be myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, with, you know how people have insecurities in their relationship and just different things. I ain't gotta go through really none of that. I ain't gotta worry about, ooh, how the bills finna get paid this month. You know.
right,
I ain't gotta worry about going to put oil in my car. I ain't gotta do,
right.
I ain't gotta do all that type of stuff. Even like with relationships, we have to learn that uh, we get it wrong. Most of it be lust. A lot of us lust a lot. And I'm finally learning what real love is. It really is. It's not just lust. Because I didn't have, like I said, I had my share, but and I've had kids, so I always wanted to have a family. I didn't want my kids to ever go through, different me with different relationships or whatever. But some
Mm.
things I can't help that didn't work out. I just know I want something that I never had, and I never had a father in the household, not even a stepfather. So I never knew what it was for to have a man. Um, I never knew what real love was. I only seen my daddy every blue moon. So, and if that what real love is, I don't, you know.
So, so what is love? Then?
You said, what is loving?
No, what is love?
What is love?
Mhm.
Um, Love is not with eyesight. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
Love is not just eyesight. No, you can't, like, if you base love on eyesight or physical appearance or anything like that. You I'm not saying you can't be attracted to your mate or anything. I'm not saying that, but if you base it on that, a lot of people base that on that and then get caught up in some, and then it was just lust. Sound like just men get caught up on a
Can,
behind. You know what I'm saying? A big
can,
behind.
but can you fall in love with somebody based off of lust?
You, I feel, I feel like you can love someone, you can fall in love with someone, but I'm saying, like, you can't base it off of lust. Like, yeah, I feel like I done love, I done had my share of it. I know I love people, 'cause when I love hard.
Mm.
Um, I definitely love hard, but I can't just be lusting off of what I want. I got to make sure that man want me too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't know if the other person, anybody can play for a few days, for a few months, some people can play for a few years, but sometimes you got to catch on. You should have been catch, sometimes we got to catch on early.
Right.
Because some things just be a show. And I'm going to just say men, a lot of men lust women. They not, one
Well,
woman can't satisfy them.
I
You feel
personally
me?
think most men. That's why, like, personally, a man, we go based off of lust first, and like whatever comes afterwards,
Yeah.
like, is going to turn into love. Basically, I think our our attractions will turn into love. Basically, so for example, like, what made you fall in love with your fiance?
What made me fall in love? I'm gonna say, first off, it's like the way we met. I wasn't really expecting anything. I was actually in a relationship. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I was
Okay.
no. Listen, you